You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Look at the stars. The great kings of the past look down on us from those stars. So whenever you feel alone, just remember that those kings will always be there to guide you.
I don't think it is very useful to speculate on what God might or might not be able to do. Rather, we should examine what he actually does with the universe we live in.
We are all explorers, driven to know what's over the horizon. The most profound discoveries are not necessarily beyond that next star. They're within us, woven into the threads that bind us.
Hello, beautiful people. Happy Wednesday, happy Mercury Day, and happy February. Can you believe January is already over? We are 1/12 of the way into 2023, right in the middle of Aquarius season. And we've got a few people joining us on this beautiful Wednesday afternoon. Katie is here. Rose is here. Hello, back to you, Rachel. Hi, Alex. Hey, Diane. Lots of our favorite people joining us on the live stream today. And speaking of our favorite people, I mean, not that these people are our favorite, but they are celebrating their birthdays today. And I love that Harry Styles is an Aquarius. What a great representation of what it means to be an Aquarius. He is challenging gender norms. He is marching to the beat of his own drum. He's an icon. He's a symbol. People love him for just being the weird, unique person that he is. And just when you think you've got Harry Styles figured out, you think, oh, he's the singer. Well, he was in One Direction, right? Then he did his own thing, literally marching to the beat of his own drum. You think you've got him figured out, and then he plays like a serious acting role and dates Olivia Wilde. I mean, talk about an Aquarius king. Lisa Marie Presley was also an Aquarius. She just passed recently, and feels like a beautiful day to honor her and the legacy that she lives or leaves behind, I should say. Ronda Rousey, another Aquarius, someone else who is doing her own thing, making her way in the world, challenging convention. Let's see, anyone else popping out to you? Clark Gable. Langston Hughes was an Aquarius. If you don't know Langston Hughes, amazing poet and definitely a visionary in his own right. Lauren Conrad, an Aquarius. Pauly Shore, Michael C. Hall, Heather Morris. Lots of Aquariuses. Sherilyn, I don't know where that came from. Sherilyn Fenn. You know, the moon's at 0 degrees as we're live right now. And I'm really feeling it. That fresh energy, a little ahead of myself, maybe a little too much coffee too. Hi, Nick. Happy to see you here. So let's get a check on the current energy. In fact, I've got to update this because the moon just moved into Cancer like 5 to 10 minutes ago. So the sun is in Aquarius, the moon is in Cancer. The sun and an air sign, so we're very much still in that visionary phase of the year where we're looking to the future, where we're innovating, we're trying new things. But the moon in Cancer is a different vibe. And in fact, Aquarius and Cancer form an imbalanced angle to one another on the zodiac chart. So it's a little bit of an awkward energy where the sun, we want to put ourselves out there, we want to try new things, but the moon in Cancer is all about finding emotional safety. So that's going to be a big theme that we talk about today, is finding emotional safety, something we tapped into a little bit yesterday, but the moon is at home in the sign of Cancer, and you might be feeling that balancing act playing out between wanting to go out into the world, think about the future, and also just wanting to stay at home, stay in your comfort zone. Pauly Shore, I knew someone out there would be like, oh yes, Pauly Shore. Happy Wednesday to you, Corby. All right, we've got one major transit to talk about today, and then we'll touch on what's going on with the moon. But I want to start with a sextile between the sun and Chiron. This is exact as we speak. Actually, the transit was exact at 11:26 a.m. Pacific time. So we're definitely feeling it very strongly right now. And I love that we've really been talking about Aquarius season, about this innovative time, because the sun in Aquarius is forming this supportive angle to Chiron. You can see the dark blue line on the chart here. This is the only major connection we're feeling today among the planets. And when the sun is connecting with, I should say not a planet, because Chiron is a body, it's an asteroid, but out of all the asteroids, Chiron feels like a planet. When you like look at pictures of Chiron, it's like a little mini planet, if that makes sense. Really, this Aquarius energy is really getting to me today. I'm feeling like a little zany, a little weird. But on that note, expressing our weirdness can be healing. And that's one of the messages that comes through as the Aquarius sun connects with Chiron, the wounded healer, illuminating the potential for healing. If we're willing to lean into a sextile, if we're willing to do a little bit of work, we can gain the benefits of this 60-degree angle between the planets. So the last time the sun formed this angle to Chiron was back in, I believe, June of 2022. It's been a while. Not to say that we haven't experienced connections to Chiron, but it's been a bit since we've gotten this supportive angle between the two. This transit brings conscious awareness, yes, to our wounds, but also to our ability to heal them. That's what Chiron is all about, the wounded healer, representing in our birth chart. Our natal Chiron is representative of our deepest wounds, but then also once we find what heals those wounds, our potential to help heal other people with that same medicine. When we're working with Chiron in transit astrology, this is more about collective wounds, and it's more about the present awareness of our wounding, right? So illuminating collective wounds, but also asking us, how does that trigger us individually? Aquarius energy, coming back to the themes we talked about at the beginning of Aquarius season, reminds us of our individual gifts as part of the collective. So yes, we want to stand out from the crowd, but we also want to belong to the crowd too. Noticing if there's anything playing out in the collective awareness today. I know there are some big news events happening. There's a lot going on politically. There's a lot going on in the social justice movement currently. So noticing if you're taking in the news, if you're seeing a headline, if there's something that is triggering a wound within you, the collective consciousness, the sun in Aquarius, is illuminating our individual wounds and showing us the potential for healing. I'll remind you of the quote I brought up yesterday: the wound is the space where the light enters. That's not a direct quote, but you get the vibe, right? So there's a lot to learn today about our own healing and a potential opportunity for other people to do the same if we're if we're willing to observe our wounds from a new perspective as this innovative Aquarius sun shines light on those wounds. So another question to ask with the sun in community-focused Aquarius: how can I bring my community into the healing process? How can I share my healing with my community? Reminding us that we're not meant to heal alone. Healing doesn't happen in a vacuum. Healing doesn't happen in isolation. Healing happens from trying new things, putting ourselves out there, connecting with other people, realizing that we're not alone in our struggles, right? That can be so validating and so healing to be like, oh, I'm not the only one who feels this way. I'm not the only one who's had this experience. So how can you connect with your community and find individual healing in that space of connection, in that space of community reflection, collective reflection? Rachel says, my Saturn is at 13 degrees in Aquarius and Chiron has been sextile with it for some time. So that means the sun is coming into a conjunction with your Saturn in the next couple days as well, illuminating a lot of the lessons you probably have learned through your Saturn return. But with the sun adding to this, I'm reflecting on how healing it has been to learn and be proud of how I've grown. Beautiful. Yeah, and that's healing in itself, you know, just reflecting on the journey you've taken so far. That goes for everybody, regardless of if the sun is activating your Saturn or any of the other planets in your chart. Like, a lot of us have been on a healing journey. I think healing has become popular, if you will, especially since the pandemic, because we were forced to sit in isolation with our wounds. We were forced to acknowledge our triggers. We had nowhere to run, nowhere to go, right? Nothing to distract us. So a lot of people have been on this collective healing journey. And today's a day where you might just give yourself a pat on the back for how far you've come and acknowledge, okay, I've already come so far. I have the tools in my tool belt to keep healing. I know that there's potential to further heal myself. Healing is a journey, not a destination, right? Rachel says it also makes sense. I've been having a lot of lessons in my relationships, Chiron in the 7th house for you. Yeah. And how they reflect to inner child wounds, 5th house, learning to alchemize these wounds. I love how you are building on your knowledge of astrology, better understanding your chart every day, and becoming your own best astrologer. You're able to look at the transits and be like, oh, this is how it's impacting me, which is my mission here, to empower you all to be able to do that. So yeah, I'm so proud of you using these tools to reflect on your own internal experience, Rachel. Cancer and Chiron is in my 9th. So you have Chiron in Cancer, and the moon will transit over your Chiron in the next couple days. So maybe some emotional awareness of wounding, but also emotional potential for healing too. Chiron is currently in Aries. So Aries squares Cancer, and you might be feeling a lot of activation of wounds, but Chiron is in Aries for a long time. Chiron spends 7 to 8 years in Aries, and this about the same amount of time in Pisces, the next sign. So you're probably feeling like a long-term activation, especially depending on what degree your Chiron is at, really forcing you to heal some things, forcing you to acknowledge your wounds, might be a little uncomfortable. And that's a long-term journey you're in right now. That's okay, Corby. You're doing amazing work with it. You have all these tools to reflect and to help yourself heal. Katie says, feeling really anxious today. I have Chiron in Cancer, 7th house. Guess that makes sense. Yeah, and the Cancer moon, again, might start to activate those wounds a little bit over the next couple days. Rose says, transiting Chiron has been sitting on top of my north node in the 11th house. Been finding myself feeling a lot better after some naps. My new sleep tracker also shows how I can sleep better. I love that. And, you know, we talked about this a few days ago, Rose, but since transiting Chiron moves so slowly, it's going to really illuminate your purpose when it comes to healing over the long term. Especially with Chiron and Aries, like it's going to be sitting there in your 11th house for a while. So you've already leaned into it. You're a healer by trade, and you're learning how to heal yourself in the process. But just know Chiron's not going anywhere anytime soon. So might as well lean into your purpose as a healer. Yeah, I've also been telling so many of my patients and family members to get more sleep. Beautiful. You're using what's helping you and sharing that medicine with your community, your patients, which is what Chiron is all about. Listen, the force is forcing. This might be my new favorite phrase. The force is forcing. That's like the mantra of a square, forcing us to acknowledge something. But you're doing great, Corby. You are just taking that medicine as it comes and using it to better yourself, which is all we can do in this life, right? 2 degrees Chiron in Cancer for you. So the worst is over for you, Katie. You've already dealt with the most intense part of Chiron and Aries for you. It's pulling away, separating from a major activation to your Chiron. However, today, as the moon just moved into Cancer, the moon is sitting on top of your Chiron. So you might be feeling a little more triggered, activated, feeling those wounds today specifically. Mind of Mary Madeline has Chiron in Scorpio. Luckily for you, Scorpio and Aries, where Chiron currently is, aren't making too difficult of a connection to each other. So, you know, you shouldn't have to deal with too much activation, at least right now. In fact, when Chiron was in Taurus, I'm lying. Chiron already went through Pisces. So Chiron in Taurus, the next sign Chiron moves into, I think like next year, it's going to be a while, maybe even a couple years from now. That'll be more of a intense healing journey for you right now. Just go with the flow. Maybe making a few adjustments. Scorpio and Aries have that adjusting energy. Okay, Cancer in the 8th house, but my Chiron is at 27 of Taurus. All right, so the most intense, or I shouldn't say the most intense, but the next couple years, like I was just telling Mind of Mary Madeline, when Chiron moves into Taurus, that'll be more intense in the next couple years. Okay, we've talked a lot about Chiron. Hey, Elena. Yeah, missed the beginning. I'll have to watch it back. Just lots of Chiron talk today. Oh, good. Diane says she's finally starting to feel better. And with my moon in my first house, Chiron and Gemini helping, I think that gave me the boost I needed. Yeah, definitely. Definitely some healing medicine for you. The moon moving into your first house. Chiron and Cancer in my 7th house. So depending on what degree it's at, yeah, it might be a little more activated. Relationship wounds might be coming up for you a little bit. That's okay. You have the awareness. As a Scorpio rising, transformation and change are in my DNA. Yeah, you are meant to just keep evolving here, Corby. These activations have propelled me forward, and I'm grateful. My Chiron in Cancer is at 4 degrees. Okay, so the worst is over for you too. But the next couple of days, there could be some emotional healing, right? Or today, specifically, as the moon moves over your Chiron. And I love how you notice that. You're a Scorpio rising, like you're ruled by Pluto. You're like going deep into it. You're like, give me the deepest, darkest assignment here. We're going to have a leaf blower. I'm going to move the mic closer to me. So you're just embracing that Scorpio energy. Okay, hopefully this leaf blower is not too loud. We're rolling with it. Let's talk about the moon. The moon spent the morning in Gemini, the waxing gibbous moon. We talked so much about the Gemini moon yesterday that we won't get too into it, but the last couple days have been very mentally activating. We've been processing a lot of our emotions through a more mental lens. Just right here. I don't know if you guys can hear the landscapers outside my window. So the moon in Gemini, yeah, Sacramento problems, leaf blowers. Exactly. I never hear the leaf blower. Good. So the moon in Gemini, we've been processing our emotions very mentally. The moon overnight formed a trine to Saturn, and it's really interesting. Okay, good. Really interesting, this trine to Saturn. This happened at 3 a.m. Pacific time, so 6 a.m. Eastern time. Maybe you woke up feeling mature, responsible, able to tackle your to-do list, get things done this morning. Easy to be responsible first thing this morning. The moon squared Neptune late last night, and we talked about this yesterday afternoon, right? And I noticed, as well as had someone else in our community share, that they couldn't sleep last night, and I had the same thing. So the moon squaring Neptune, we talked about being really anxious, being really sensitive. And oftentimes when the moon squares Neptune, I feel like it just puts us to sleep. It forces us to be sleepy, but it might have the opposite effect too, as the moon, ruling our emotions, ruling our minute by minute, hour by hour experience, squares Neptune, clashes with the planet of sleep and dreams. You might have had a hard time sleeping. So sleep issues could have come up. The trine to Saturn, how that showed up for me personally was staying up super late, not being able to sleep, and getting a lot of work done, like really late into the night. So Saturn wants us to accomplish, it wants us to succeed, it wants us to be mature and responsible. And I was like being mature, checking things off my to-do list. It just happened to be in the middle of the night for me. Maybe you felt the benefits of this trine, this harmonious angle between the moon and Saturn first thing this morning, kind of stepping into authority, being responsible, even learning some lessons pretty easily with this balanced angle between the intellectual Gemini moon. We've been processing a lot of things, and Saturn and Aquarius helping us understand new perspectives, learn new lessons. Corby, our vivid dreamer, said, my dreams definitely had me like, what? I was jolted awake around that time, just embraced it and got up. Yeah, so shocking dreams, surprising dreams, inability to sleep, or just feeling really sensitive, really anxious. And then Saturn's like, okay, how can we do something productive with this? How can we make this work? How can we be responsible with the energy that the universe is sending us? Yeah, Rachel woke up too, took out the trash, got straight to work, thankfully was able to stay focused. So Saturn was on your side this morning, easily able to just lean into and take full advantage of adulting. Saturn is like the planet of adulting. You know, it's like, how can we use this restlessness and just adult this morning? Katie said, I had a really great chat with my aunt, a mother figure in my life last night. It was really affirmative for me. Love that I had that with the moon going into Cancer, the mother. Yeah. Beautiful. Felt the need to be productive last night, trying to get caught up on projects late last night. Feeling that energy from Saturn. You know, it's funny because I planned on going live earlier in the morning and, you know, the universe had a different plan for me this morning. But the moon was void from 3 a.m. until noon. And it just worked out that I wasn't able to get on here and go live until the moon moved into Cancer, which, you know, I always say at a void moon, not good to start anything under a void moon, rather finish things up. So I like how a lot of us were feeling that void moon energy between 3 a.m. Pacific time, noon Pacific time, early afternoon for those of you on the East Coast. Like, okay, how can we take out the trash, finish things, be responsible, get our affairs in order before the moon moves into a new sign, even if you didn't realize you were consciously doing that. Yeah. Oh, Katie says, I don't have to figure it all out now. I just know I'm supported and I can focus on the task in the moment. Beautiful. Alex said, I had a rough sleep and was woken up early. Definitely was a tough start to the day. Saturn can bring that too, kind of that sobering dose of realism. You know, we kind of late last night got caught up in creativity and fantasy and the moon squaring Neptune. And then Saturn's like, actually come back to reality. This is planet Earth. And these are the responsibilities we have. Yeah. Got a little late start today, but got up, got some stuff done. And that void moon until noon Pacific time was that invitation to have a slow start. So for those of you who live on the East Coast, you probably were feeling more of the trine to Saturn first thing. And then the energy might have diffused or died down a little bit. Now the moon is in Cancer. And the moon, the waxing gibbous moon, moved into Cancer at 12:12 p.m. Pacific time. We love an angel number. And the moon in Cancer for the rest of the day does not make any other connections. So let's just take a moment to feel into the energy of the Cancer moon. As I mentioned, the moon is at home in the sign of Cancer, as Katie talked about, the sign of the mother. It's a very nurturing energy, inviting us to find safety in our body, to nourish ourselves. Cancer rules the stomach, so comfort food or nourishing food is definitely something that can help us find emotional safety under the moon in Cancer. This feels like an emotional recalibration. We've been in the energy of the heady Gemini moon. Before that, it was the Taurus moon, kind of moving forward, getting grounded. The Cancer moon is like, okay, we've been living in our head. Let's come back down into our body, emotionally recalibrate before the full moon in Leo on Sunday. So the moon will move into Leo, I believe, on Saturday, maybe Friday night. Depending on where you live. The moon spends the weekend in Leo. Very Leo energy, fun energy, party energy, right? Like very expressive and outgoing. The Cancer moon is like, okay, let's tap into our emotions, tap into our intuition, get comfortable in our body, get our waters, our internal waters all settled, all safe, so we can fully express and have fun and take full advantage of this really potent, fun, even disruptive, if I dare say so, Leo full moon over the weekend. The full moon will square Uranus. Of course, we'll talk about this as it gets closer, but there could be some big, bold, expressive changes or realizations or disruptions that happen. Finding emotional safety in the days leading up to this full moon is going to be really helpful. So getting comfortable in the sense of acknowledging your emotions that you're feeling, finding safe spaces to be in, finding nurturing relationships that do make you feel safe, familiar food, familiar people. Like it's that remembering that our home is our body, right? Cancer rules the home. The moon rules our emotions, our bodily experience. So like finding home within your body, finding that safe space in yourself, whatever that looks like. Could just look like, I feel like soup, making soup under the Cancer moon, like warm, nourishing food, grabbing a cozy blanket, even cleaning up your home. Like, remember, the waxing gibbous moon is all about making adjustments, correcting course, gathering more data. And it feels like cleaning your home, not necessarily to clear out stagnant energy, but almost to bring in more nurturing energy. And that could involve cleaning too, right? But like making it feel safer sets you up for success under the full moon. Corby says, my son was not pleased about life this morning. Definitely going to give him some extra love today. Perfect for the Cancer moon, for you to be that mama bear, safe energy for him that I'm sure you always are. But yes, exactly, Corby. The Cancer moon is all about regrouping before the fun. And in the waxing gibbous phase, remember, we've been talking about gathering more data, adjusting, recalibrating, these words that I keep saying, right? But our intuition is heightened under the Cancer moon. So intuitively, taking the moment to slow down and feel into, like, what do I need to adjust? What do I need to change? Is there anything my gut is telling me that needs to be adjusted right now so I can have fun this weekend and lean into whatever changes, whatever bold expression wants to come through? We love a proactive plan. Of course you do. You Capricorn rising. My Virgo sees you. We like having a plan. We like knowing what we can do in the present moment. All we can control is the present, right? So what can we do in the present moment to set ourselves up to have fun this weekend under the Leo full moon? And those of us who are planners, who are very pragmatic, who are very practical, knowing that the fun is coming can be helpful. Like, this weekend, all of my earth signs out there, this weekend is the time to have fun, to let your hair down. So prepare yourself for it, okay? I know it's not always in our nature to be wild and free, but this weekend is the weekend to do it. Especially with a full moon squaring Uranus, it's like, hello, how can you free yourself? Yeah, can you hear the leaf blower now? He's getting closer. All right, so that's the Cancer moon, really inviting us to get into our body, find safety, prepare ourselves. Almost, the Cancer moon can feel very much like seeking security in those safe spaces. So finding security so we can just be free and have fun this weekend. All right, I feel like I'm a broken record. Just find some safety, okay? All right, let's come back to our affirmation of the day. It is safe to feel my feelings. I'm sure you can guess where this affirmation comes from. Yes, the Cancer moon. It is safe to feel my feelings. Part of preparing and recalibrating and attuning our emotions is feeling how we feel. And the Cancer moon, if you have people who have heavy Cancer energy, they're so nurturing, and it's like they create that safe space to feel your feelings. So knowing that it's safe for you to have the space in your body to feel your feelings. It is safe to feel how you feel. And by honoring those feelings, by acknowledging those feelings, you're more easily able to express and be authentic under the full moon this weekend. Also, it's safe to feel my feelings. By allowing yourself to feel what you feel, healing opportunities can be illuminated as the sun connects with Chiron today. You've got to feel it in order to heal it, right? The Cancer moon is like giving us permission to feel it. The sun and Chiron connecting is helping us heal it, illuminating the potential for healing. Yeah, I'm feeling it too. This weekend is going to be a really fun full moon. So, even like doing stuff around the house under the Cancer moon. So you're not trying to have fun this weekend and like worried about like, oh, but here's all the stuff I need to get done, or my house is a mess. I don't know about you, but if my house is a mess, I feel a little like guilty having fun. Obviously, that's my own stuff I've got to work through. But as we speak, my partner is doing the dishes, and I just love that for me, honestly. Under this Cancer moon, like, let's get the house in order. And I love that I didn't even have to tell him, but intuitively the moon moved into Cancer and he was like, I'm going to go do the dishes. I'm like, yes, thank you, universe. We do. We love healing opportunities. Thank you. Needed this today. I ended up crying at the spiritual shop this past Monday because things have been heavy lately. I'm nervous to go to mentorship group today because I'm so embarrassed. Don't be. First of all, the moon is in Cancer. Tears are welcome. Tears are always welcome here. Tears are always welcome wherever the moon is. But know that people create spaces like spiritual shops and offer healing workshops because they want you to feel safe feeling your feelings and processing your feelings. So never feel embarrassed to authentically express how you feel. The people who created that space in a weird way are probably like, yes, she's feeling something here. You know, you got to feel it in order to heal it. And I'm sure their intention for creating a spiritual shop is healing. So we see you, and I'm sure they see how beautiful you are, how amazing you are, and are just honored to support you on your journey. Yeah. I hate crying in front of people too. I just got overwhelmed and it burst, but that's okay. That's okay. And there's healing in that too, like letting yourself be seen as the full emotional, beautiful human you are. Yeah, don't be embarrassed at all. Go to the group, show up authentically, whatever that looks like for you. Absolutely. And I get it. I totally get it. I'm a Virgo, just like you. We have very similar energy. Scorpio moon, it's like I got to keep these deep emotions behind a mask. I got to hide it, right? But what I have learned and really leaning into my Scorpio moon is that sharing my emotions, sharing my vulnerability is also sharing my power. And so you never know, Rachel, you being authentic and crying could have given someone else in the room permission, like, oh, it's safe to do that here. Wow, who knew? There's a lot of power in your emotions, even the ones that feel a little uncomfortable. Diane says, I always use winter to organize the house and clear digital clutter. Like winter was the best time to clean out and be ready for spring. Better than spring cleaning since you're stuck inside anyway. What's really cool about this for you, Diane, hold on, I'm trying to like visualize this. I'm pretty sure Capricorn, I could be wrong about this. Capricorn doesn't rule your 5th house, or your 6th house, excuse me. But hey, do what works for you. And does Capricorn rule your 8th house then? Because that could be like a purging energy, right? Clearing out clutter during Capricorn season, during the winter. I don't know. I'm trying to visualize your chart off the top of my head. I might be getting the houses wrong, but 8th house energy, I keep saying the wrong house. 8th house energy, 6th house energy, both great for decluttering, organizing, cleaning. Yes. Our outbursts are normal and freeing. Yeah. And I think that's part of like the divine feminine reclaiming our power too, is being like, we're here to feel it. We are here to feel it, and it's okay to express our feelings. We've been living in such a patriarchal structure for so long where it's like, it reminds me of that line in Let It Go from Frozen, like conceal, don't feel. I don't know why that just comes into my mind, but like, oh gosh, we can't show our feelings. We'll be seen as weak. We'll be seen as too much, as unable to be leaders if we're feeling, there's been so much of a narrative around, oh gosh, women can't be leaders because they're just emotional roller coasters. Like, men need to feel their feelings. Men need to be able to cry in public and for it to be normal, right? So yes, crying and feeling your feelings publicly is super normal, super freeing, and super empowering to the people around you. Love that too. I love this perspective, Katie. I'm not going to put expectations on this weekend. Fun could be subjective and not look typical for me. Classic Aquarius move, rebelling against typical fun, but I love that. I love that. And Leo rules your 8th house, right? So the full moon will probably be in your 8th house, which might be bringing up some deeper stuff for you. And it might just be more about expressing and being authentic in that experience rather than like, woo, fun, So there's potential, noticing if you're holding yourself back from having fun, right? But this full moon might be a little deeper for you if I am visualizing your chart correctly right now. Yeah, Katie coming in with the practicality and the potential. Yeah. Sending you love, Rachel. Yes, and it came out because you felt safe among the group. Yes, yes, yes. Great point, Diane. You are supported. You are loved. Nick gets it. He says, as a Virgo with a Scorpio rising, trying to have more of a filter between my mind and the outside world. Do like to talk with people too much. Never too much. We love a chatty Virgo. Capricorn rules my 8th. 6th is Scorpio. Yeah, Gemini rising, 21 degrees. That's right. So 8th house, decluttering, purging, releasing attachments to things. Great for winter and Capricorn season. Cry like a man. Love it. Leo starts in my 7th, ends in my 8th. I'll have to look at the exact, it's probably going to be on the cusp for you, this full moon. I don't know the exact degree off the top of my head. I tell my husband we should have had a daughter so that he can soften up. His culture is strong with the patriarchy, so I'm tearing it down. Yes, please. All that Aries energy. Burn it down. Burn it down. Love it. I love that. And, you know, the women of the world, I really believe, are here to teach men how to soften and how to be more nurturing. Leo is in my 10th and midheaven, so I'm like side-eyeing those areas like, oh, what are you going to bring? What culmination is coming with this full moon? Yeah, burn it down. Okay, we're going to finish up with a card pull. I'm really feeling like pulling from the Modern Witch Tarot deck today. It's speaking to me. So unfortunately, I don't have like a physical guidebook in front of me, but I've got the digital one pulled up. Very sustainable and earth-friendly for Aquarius season. And this is your time to share any final insights, ask any final questions, reflect on what message you'd like to receive under the Cancer moon. And I always like to point out when I do a pull from a tarot deck that I am not a tarot expert yet. Maybe one day I'll be more familiar with tarot. Little by little, I'm getting more comfortable and more familiar with the suits and the meanings. Oh, we have got cards flying. Too many cards to determine if they were meant for us. So we're going to keep shuffling. Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it today, Corby. And let's all just do our deep breath together, sending energy into this deck, asking the universe if it has any more wisdom for us today. So here we go, a collective deep breath. Oh, before though, Diane says, I'm hoping the cards tell me what I need to know about Venus transiting through my 10th house, if there's something extra I should do to help anything along or anything I'm missing. Yeah, there were like 6 cards that flew out though. I'm like, that might be a little too much, but we do. They're eager. We love when they fly. They're eager to give us a message. Okay, here we go. Let's breathe in nice and deep from the bottom all the way to the top. Inhale. And release. What do we need to know? The Queen of Cups. Okay. So Cups, if I'm not mistaken, is a water suit. And the Queen of Cups, here's the card coming through. Let me pull her up in our guidebook here and see what message she has for us. I love these illustrations. They're like modern illustrations, but very similar to the Rider-Waite Tarot deck, which is like the standard tarot deck many readers use. Okay, Queen of Cups, a comforting and therapeutic guide. She is deeply in tune with the inner worlds of emotion. Hello, Cancer moon. Highly empathic and creative, she spends a lot of her time gazing out into the waters of the unconscious, and it might be difficult to keep her on solid ground. If this card is you, trust your intuition and feelings in creative endeavors. If you search within, you will find a wealth of creativity and inspiration that will guide you down the right pathway. Okay. I feel like this is just the message. Trust your intuition, feel your feelings. There's a lot of creativity. There's a lot of insight that can come from just sitting in your own inner waters, trusting the emotions that come through. But also, I have to say, I love that Diane asked a specific message before we pulled this card. She specifically asked about Venus. And as we know, Venus is in Pisces. And Venus in Pisces is a very creative energy. It's a very intuitive energy. Even this card talking about gazing into the waters of the unconscious. trust your intuition and feelings in creative endeavors. And I know that creativity is big in career for you, Diane, especially with Pisces ruling your 10th house, right? So or Pisces in your 10th house, I should say. I love this card for you. Finding fresh inspiration. Yeah. If we pulled all 6 cards, it would be an entire tarot spread. Yeah. Queen of Cups. Cancer energy, Pisces energy coming through. Yeah, exactly. Love with you guys. Feeling so much love in the comments. Yeah, all the creativity coming your way, Diane. I feel like this is a powerful answer to the question you asked. We love having you all here. I mean, gosh, I'm so grateful for each and every one of you. Rose says, this is random, but my toddler is playing peekaboo with our baby video monitor. How cute. I love that. Oh, so much love to you all. Really feeling the love of our feminine energy here under this Cancer moon, and to the guys too who are watching. We're sending love to you too, but the Queen of Cups really feels like it's bringing in this feminine energy of another bird just flew right outside my window, bringing in the feminine energy of the Cancer moon, the moon in the sign of the divine feminine, reminding us that our intuition is powerful, our feelings are powerful. There's a lot of creative life force that comes through when we allow ourselves to feel things fully. Venus in Pisces too reminds us that our ability to feel is directly linked with creativity. You know, so much of the art that moves us, whether it's music or visual art, comes from someone expressing a deep emotion from within. And when we're experiencing art that's moving, it's likely because we can feel that emotion coming through an art piece. Or even when we're connecting with someone's business model or with an offering they have, we can feel the emotion behind that offering. And so the Queen of Cups reminds us that we have to tune into our emotions in order to authentically express ourselves, to know how we're feeling so we can convey that feeling to others. And it feels like perfect timing, as we've been talking about the Cancer moon, attuning to our emotions before we head into this very expressive full moon in Leo, knowing how we feel so we can express ourselves more authentically this weekend. Queen of Cups is water and water, so she is pure water element. Yeah, really feeling that water energy. Absolutely. Thank you for that insight. Love this for my Cancer moon husband. Ugh, I love a Cancer moon, man. Like the best, my favorite placement when a man has a Cancer moon. And you have a Cancer moon as well. Makes sense. You're very intuitive. Yeah. Yes, Queen. Yes, Queen of Cups. Yes. I love that. Let those emotions flow. Rachel says, today I am so grateful for these lessons that help me heal so I can create love and peace. So perfect for my Sun, Saturn, Chiron conjunction. Yeah. Beautiful. Love that for you. Freely and openly and unapologetically. We're just riding that same wave. Yeah. Yes, Queen of Cups, riding the wave. All right, everybody. This has been so much fun checking in with you all today. Oh, thank you so much. I am so grateful you found this channel. And if you're new here, I know many of you have been here for a while, and I'm just so grateful for those of you who keep helping me build this community and connecting with each other and adding your insights and your value to this live stream. This is truly a co-creation, and the insights you share in the chat shape the forecast every day, which is just so cool to me. But if you're new, if you're just finding the channel, like the video, subscribe, help us keep these forecasts coming out for free every day, and just sending you love wherever you're at in your journey. Know that you are safe, that it's safe to feel your feelings, and you're worth it. You're worth giving yourself that time and energy to tap into your emotions. I will be back tomorrow. Yeah, I'm going to be visualizing the Queen of Cups wearing that crown all day, that watery emotional crown, part of our superpower, right? I'll be back tomorrow to talk about Venus is going to be forming a sextile to the North Node. So tapping into that Venus and Pisces energy. I love that this card came through as well as we're getting ready to feel this next transit, this next connection, Venus is making. Alex says, had fun with the conversation today. Thank you for the positive vibes. Thank you for sharing in the positive vibes. Happy Cancer Moon. Feel those feelings. I love you all. And until I see you next, stay curious. Thank you so much for joining us and aligning with the energy of the universe today. If you enjoyed this morning's episode of Transits Today, you can join our live astrology discussion every weekday morning right here wherever you're watching. And head to thespiritualjournalist.com to read your daily astrology forecast and browse the Spiritual Shop. The most fun way to help keep these forecasts free and support more content like this is to buy yourself a little something on our website. But if you're feeling extra generous, you can also buy me a coffee to fuel future live streams. Just tap the link in the description or head to buymeacoffee.com and search The Spiritual Journalist. And speaking of, you can also tune in to The Spiritual Journalist, our weekly live interview where we ask our guests questions about everything from crystals and manifestation to mental health and the environment. Those conversations stream live right here wherever you're watching now every Tuesday. I'm so grateful you found us here, and I can't wait for our next conversation.